Okay, hey there, I'm George Affleck,
I'm Steven Johnson.
and this is the Marketing Manager Playbook. All right, so today we are going to talk about retargeting, Steve.
On Google.
On Google, focusing on Google. So there are other ways to retarget, but let's talk a bit about retargeting. Perhaps for the viewers and listeners today, we can talk a bit about just defining what retargeting is.
Sure. Yeah, if you're not familiar with retargeting, you have seen it or you've been retargeted to before. I think most marketing people within the marketing profession know what retargeting or remarketing is, and that's basically when somebody has visited your website or come in contact with your brand in some way, you can now follow them essentially with ads in different places. So on Google, that's making use of the Google Display Network, which includes websites, web applications, and you can even do through email.
Okay, so let's go through each one of those categories and say how would you use it, and what kind of businesses would benefit from this.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's first talk about businesses that would benefit from this, because any business can make use of retargeting. It's very cost effective, and you just require basically 100 users a month to visit your website.
So there's a minimum threshold.
Minimum threshold, yeah. It needs to be enough of an audience for your ads to trigger. And when you have enough of an audience, your ads will fire, and they're very cost effective. You can have a budget of $75 a month, and your ads will be seen by thousands of people who have already come in contact with your brand.
So they're hot. They're already hot because they already found you through
Potentially.
AdWords or whatever.
If you're doing right, yeah, of course, there's all different quality of traffic. But if you're confident that your traffic is high quality, then or reasonable quality, then retargeting makes a whole lot of sense. So yes, you need to get some ads designed. That's the step that you need to take. But outside of that, it's a Google ad account, set of ads, and you can be rolling with retargeting ads. So any industry it applies to.
So the ads themselves, let's talk about the design. So they would be, so I've been to your site, now you're retargeting, remarketing to me, and the ad that will pop up in these other feeds or whatever would say, hey, dude, you were on my site, come back and buy this product. Is that basically what it is?
Yeah, essentially. I think if you've been retargeted to by a travel company, you might have been looking at a very particular trip, and now it's saying, hey, this trip is $700. Yeah. So if you're a business and you are selling a particular product, for example, you have many products or many services, you can segment your retargeting so that somebody who visits a page about widget A sees retargeting ads about widget A. Or, to really be effective, you make an offer. So they've come to your website, they've checked you out. Now anybody who has gone to your page and left now starts to see these retargeting ads. And those are the only people who see those retargeting ads. So you can make an offer to them for a discount code or whatever.
E-commerce, this is huge.
Yeah.
Like you buy these pair of shoes or get a discount or all sorts of things that really encourage them to come back.
And like I said, any industry. It works for any industry, and you see more of it now. I mean, we'll talk about Facebook and Instagram at some point to do with retargeting. They have their own retargeting machine, and most of the ads you see are retargeting ads on those platforms.
The principles are the same, though. It's really about remarketing to the people that have already experienced your brand in some way, whether you're, in as e-commerce selling shoes or whether you're selling, a spa or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Is it easy to set up on Google? I mean, how does the structure work? Because there are other platforms you can use for retargeting, but your preference is Google.
Yeah, I think if you're a small business owner or you're a marketing manager and you want to try retargeting out, it's actually, if you have one service, one product, and you just want to do something really general, it's really doesn't take a whole lot of time to set up your own account, get some ads designed by a graphic designer. But if you have multiple products, multiple services,
it
gets complex. You got multiple pixels. You need to segment your website.
A pixel is, just for those people who don't know what a pixel is. What's that?
Basically a little tracking code.
That's how you know that person was there.
That's how you create your audience. Yeah, okay. They go into you put the pixel on your website, they visit that page, and now they collect a cookie and they follow them around.
I think people who, these terms are quite hilarious still, even after years of doing this, cookies and pixels, and I think a lot of people who might be listening or watching this have not experienced this before, but these are important terminology to get to understand for all this stuff.
Sure. And there are restrictions with retargeting. So and when I say anybody should use retargeting, yes, but there are limitations. If you're in the health and some medical professions, if you're a chiropractor, for example, Google, part of their terms of service is that you can't retarget because they don't want you to, somebody searches for a particular condition or whatever it might be. Now you follow them around with ads. It's sort of a little bit, now they're being reminded about their issue over and over and over and over again. So they're not everybody.
Is it clear when you go to Google or to set this up, it'll say, sorry, you don't fit this criteria, or is it you launch it and then it says no?
Yeah, once you launch. So it requires some expertise, and that's something that an agency can help with. They Curve, and with those more complicated campaigns, and with retargeting, more complicated doesn't necessarily mean more expensive. It just means that you're segmenting more and it's more complex, but the ad spend, it doesn't mean that you need to be spending thousands of dollars on retargeting. And generally it works better when complemented by a search campaign, a Google search.
I was just going to say that. So the priorities, you build your website, build your brand, set up your Google ad words, as they used to be called, but that's it, and then start looking at your retargeting once that's a sort of priority basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you think everybody should be doing this if they can?
Yeah, I believe. I'm a Google guy. I believe that everybody should be doing Google ads.
No matter how small your audience is.
No matter how small you are. Yeah. Because there's particular niche terms that when somebody searches that term, you want to show up. Right. No matter how many, it might only be searched twice a year, but to set
you don't miss that chance.
Why not, right? And same thing for retargeting. As long as you have enough traffic, retarget. Very effective. And the reason it's so cost effective is that it's a form of pay-per-click. So you only pay if somebody clicks on the ad, and not a lot of your click-through rate on a display ad or a retargeting ad is going to be very low. What you're doing is you're building your brand. You're building awareness of your company. So they've come in contact with you, and now they see you 6, 7, 8 times. In a lot of cases, they think you're bigger than you are. In some cases too.
Right,
wow, these guys, they're everywhere.
Big magazine or whatever. Okay.
Yeah. So super cost effective. Most of the times, you're measuring what we call view-through conversions. So unfortunately, one drawback is that compared to something like a search ad, you're not going to see the conversions as clearly, because what happens is a lot of times people don't click through the ads to convert. They come back to the website, maybe on their own directly.
Because you're going into their brain. I mean, in advertising, in the traditional sense, back in the day, your goal was 7 to 12 impressions, or in people's face 7 or 12 times. Now it's 20 to 30.
Digitally, yeah,
digitally. So retargeting is part of that branding, and after a while, a consumer, whoever they are, will forget how they just know your company's brand is in their brain.
And knowing your customers, sort of like how long a customer takes to make a decision, and that's different on industry, right? So if you're buying real estate, it could be a long lead. If you're international education, which we've spoken about before, if you
look for that video or audio.
But in some cases they're 10 years. And you can't retarget to them maybe for 10 years, but email marketing you can. That's sort of almost like a form of retargeting. Email marketing is, right? But if you're, for people that they want to check out, people don't just find the first website now and buy the product generally. They do a little bit of their own research. They check out competitors. They find the best price. And by enabling retargeting, you stand out from the crowd. It's as simple as that.
There's a funnel that we often talk about too in marketing, and retargeting and remarketing is key to that funnel. Your customer comes into the funnel maybe one way, but then you have to keep going at them, whether it's through email, whether it's through advertising, through Google, and Facebook, which we'll talk about in another session, and we could probably get into whole email discussions separately. But reminding your customer, once you've had them reach out to you, whether it's through organic search or paid search or whatever, then constantly, not bombarding, but pretty much, if you can, a reminder to spend money with you, or phone you, or call you, or reach out to you some way.
Yep.
Cool. Well, that's really helpful. I hope viewers and listeners have found that helpful today on retargeting, remarketing. And if you're interested in learning more, you can email me, George at Curve Communications. or you can learn a lot of this stuff on Google's site.
Yeah.
A lot of this information is on Google. So, and finding people to do the work is fairly straightforward. But you know, if you need any help, feel free to contact us.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, just feel free to comment below, and we'll get back to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.